G'day everyone, it's Vicky Wright, Independent Stampin' Up Demonstrator, Fraser Coast, Australia. Today I thought I'd share with you a card that we did in our class last week using the detailed deer dies and the dashing deer stamp set. I saw this card on Frenchie's blog, so I thought I would have a go at playing and sort of doing the same thing. I have changed mine a little bit to what Frenchie did, but sometimes that's a good thing. So this is our card that we're going to be doing. I don't know what Frenchie called it, I forget, but I'm just going to call it a pull flap card, I suppose. But it's got a little bit of a mechanism to the front. Open and close. Open it and you've got a surprise behind the front panel. Be perfect for kids, for birthdays. Lots of ideas you can use for it. So okay, let's get on with it. Now, everything I've used on our card can be found in page 70 of the catalogue. Okie dokie, so we're going to bring in our piece of DSP. The DSP I'm using is from the Garden Lane DSP, and I love that you can get multiple uses from DSP for all occasions. So all I'm doing when I pop DSP up, I like to adhere it to a piece of cardstock. I just find it gives it a little bit of extra support when you're popping it up. And that's all we're going to do. I'm just going to trim this a little bit. Just bear with me. Otherwise, it's going to drive me bonkers. Okay. So that's our DSP. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our classic label punch, and we're going to punch a slot in the middle. Now when I punched my slot, I eyeballed from here to here for the middle, and when I inserted it, the piece of DSP, I made sure it was flat against my punch as far as it could go, and then I punched it, and that is our DSP, just like that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our strip of Mossy Meadow, which has been pre-scored. Once again, all the measurements, both imperial and metric, can be found on my blog, along with a PDF tutorial. So that's what you're going to end up with. Short piece, a panel with 2 scores, then a long piece. This long piece is what we're going to create our tab from. So we're going to put that in as far as we can along our scallop tag punch, and we're just going to punch our tag. And that's all it is to it. Then we're going to make sure that this long tag is underneath the shorter square, and we're going to insert it into our slot just like that. Now when I've inserted it, I'm making sure that this tag is in the middle of our slot, okay, with just a little bit at the side like that. I want it all nice and straight because it'll work better that way. So that's all we're doing. Then what will happen is this piece will then close down over our DSP, covering up all this piece. But don't panic, it will still work. So all I'm going to do now is put a little bit of Tombow down the left hand side of our tag, bring that over, making sure it's in the middle and all straight. So all that's nice and straight and even. Grab my bone folder and I'm just helping it to adhere a little bit. You could use nail adhesive or tear and tear tape. It's up to you, but it works just as well with the liquid glue. So once I've done that, I'm then going to bring in a piece of Whisper White, which I've pre-stamped, and I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back. And we're going to stick that to the middle of this square. Okay, just like that. I've just got a little edge of Mossy Meadow showing all around. And what we're done now is we're left with this piece here. Okay, but before we do that, now I've changed the card a little bit in that I've made it longer. It's still the same width, but it's longer. And I've changed the image. So the measurement will be on my blog if you want to make the longer one. Everything else, the mechanism and how to do the tag and everything is all the same, but you can make your front and you can make your back panel a little bit longer if you wish. But I've kept my inside the same size, but I thought just to show you the difference, we will make the front a little bit longer. Then what we're going to do is this piece is going to be stuck to that like that. Now, as I said, you can have it as long as you like and you can have it as wide as you like, but you're best to have it wider or the same or meeting here as what your inside panel is, because if you have it like that, it's not going to look the best. So you can have it just like that if you like, but mine's just over. Then what we're going to do, we're going to put a little bit of glue down that panel in between the scored lines, and I want this right in the middle. Again, I'm eyeballing it, and this is going to be right up against there, just like that, if you can see that. And then I'm just going to gently press down to make sure that it's nice and stuck down, but not pressing down too hard that you'll create a ridge. Then once that's done, that should then open up just like that. And that is how easy it is. Then we're going to grab some ribbon or twine or whatever you like to use. I've just grabbed the braided twine, and we're going to put that through our top of our tag, just very gently pulling it. You don't want to pull it too much because you'll pull it through that tag, and that is our little flap. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our dimensionals and we're going to pop this up. Now you could use the foam adhesive strips if you wanted to, but I can never find mine. They're in such a good spot. And we're going to take off our sticky lids. Now you can see why I like to use cardstock on the back of my DSP when I'm popping it up. It just gives it that little extra support. Before we do that, we're going to I'll bring in our base card of mossy meadow. Burnish along that score line. Bring in a piece of mint macaroon. Put a little bit of adhesive on the back. Stick it to our base card, making sure there's a nice even border all the way around the edge. A little far over there. That's nice and straight. Then we're going to bring in our DSP panel, and we're just going to pop that up like that so that it's nice and even all the way around. And once you're happy with that, come in and gently apply a little bit of pressure to your dimensionals so that it's nice and stuck. So to finish it off, what I thought I'd do is die cut a little flower from the detailed deer dies. Put that on her neck, I suppose, just like that. Then bring in some rhinestones. It just adds, brings in a little bit of the cherry cobbler to the front of our card. And we're going to put a rhinestone smack bang, oops, not going to see that, in the smack bang in the middle of the flower. And we might put a little one right on her nose. What do you think? And that is our pull flap card. Pretty neat, eh? So that's the one we've just done, and that's the one we did in our class. Same principle, except this panel. Okay, thanks for watching. See ya. Hooray.